But for today, let's go over Dreamcast. To start, let's take a look at the files and the games that I'm going to be running in the BIOS file. So here's my folder with my ROMs. My folders look a little different. That's because I'm on Ubuntu running on my Lattepanda. I do not have Windows, so my setup, my aesthetics look a little different if you're not familiar with Linux-based OSs. Same concept though. If you're going to run Dreamcast, you're going to first have to install a emulator. So you're going to want to go to the Manage Packages where you find all the emulators, and you're going to want to find a Dreamcast emulator. I specifically use LR Raycast, and the reason I use LR Raycast and this or Rycast, not sure how they pronounce it, besides just Raycast, is because I got hung up at the menu screen with the timestamp and all that on Raycast in general. Couldn't bypass it. I'm playing on my arcade setup, couldn't access RetroArch, didn't want to deal with it. I'm using LR Raycast. So basically, you're going to put your ROMs in your Dreamcast folder. And today I'm basically just going to go over one of these, but it'll be Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And here's one of the reasons, obviously, is because I can't get Marvel vs. Capcom 2 to run on MAME. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with that. So Dreamcast is a good emulator. It's a good game for Marvel vs. Capcom. I'm just going to use that. I have a GDI file, particular for this one, just so you can see 87 bytes. And then I have a track 1 bin, track 2 raw, track 3 bin, and this state file over here. And you can, I'm going to leave a link in the description to a GitHub link that explains Dreamcast very well. It'll show you what types of files you can use, GDI and CDI, I believe. So take a look at that if you want to learn a little more about Dreamcast. Now, the key here is the BIOS files, right? Everybody talks about the BIOS. Which BIOS do you got to use? And so I'm going to go back. I'm going to show you my BIOS files, but I'm going to tell you that in the link in the description, it goes over the BIOS and how they work. But what you're going to need is a DC folder right here with your BIOS files in them. Now, pay no mind to my mess. This is a mess in here, and I am a proponent of, you get a bunch of BIOS files, throw them in there. One of them works, great. But what you're really going to need for Dreamcast is a flash bin and a boot bin. So the flash bin looks like this. The boot bin looks like this. Okay, 2.1 megs. And then you're going to see this DC BIOS file out there. Supposedly, you're supposed to change this DC BIOS file to boot.bin. And that would work because you can see it's basically the same file. Well, it is the same file, not basically. It's 2.1 megabytes, and this one's 2.1 megabytes. You're simply supposed to change the name from DC BIOS to DC boot. Now, you're going to see these in here as well. These are European, Japan, and USA versions. I extracted the USA flash bin, or just copied and pasted it right into the thing. Because you can't have a bunch of flash bins all named the same in the same. So I put them in a folder. You get the point here. Pay no mind to this other garbage here. All these other files here, I don't even know what they are. Came from some extraction of a BIOS file or something. I just dumped them in there. You can ignore those. So we got our ROMs, we got our BIOS. Let's go to the gaming. Okay, so when I open up my Dreamcast from RetroPie, you'll see I got a few games here. You can notice the tint on the wording is gray, which means that's a folder, an entryway into the actual ROM. You don't have to set it up like this if you want to fool with the game list XML and you want to maybe just dump all your files into one folder. I wanted to keep it clean, so I left each game in a folder. You saw there were multiple bins and files and GDI and track and all that stuff. I just left it in a folder. So then when I come down to Marvel vs. Capcom, oh, and by the way, Capcom vs. SNK is another one that just won't run on MAME. I don't know why. And I also had a hard time finding Capcom vs. SNK 2. I finally got one that I think works. Some of them say 2 and they're actually a 1. They're actually, Millennium Fight 2000 online. So sometimes it's tough to find a Capcom vs. SNK 2. Anyway, let's jump into Marvel vs. Capcom. So you saw my box art on the first screen. Let me go back there really quick. I had trouble. Everybody's having trouble with the game database. scraper tool on RetroPie. It's down. It doesn't work. Okay, as of today, whenever I'm doing this, I don't know if they're going to get it back up or what. So I'm using Skyscraper, and I tried Scraper as well. They're not great tools, but they work okay. So with that said, this is custom box art thanks to Kamla from the Mod My Classic Discord group, and Skyscraper wouldn't scrape Dreamcast, so I had to make my own. So what I did is I put this on the folder top part, and I put the 3D box on the entryway on the game actually that launches. I'll leave a link to the description on how to do manual box art in the comments, as well at the end of the video. I did a video on that to show you how to manually do all that, since all these scraper tools are down now. Moving on, let's launch the game. And again, LR Raycast I'm using. On the Lattepanda, you can see the window went like that, because it's just really fast. So you have basically no time when that options window comes up on the Lattepanda.
Marvel versus Capcom 2. New.
All right, let's take a look at the emulation. We'll go into arcade mode. Just a quick little tip here. If you don't know, which you probably do already, but I got to get all these characters. You can see I don't have them all. And basically you got to get all these points, and you got to play a lot. But anyway, one quick trick that you can easily do is you go into training mode and you simply just let it sit there. You don't even have to be on it. You don't even have to be practicing. But you go here to training mode, then you exit, and they give you a whole bunch of points. You just let the thing go on, and then you can buy all the characters with points. So anyway, let's jump into arcade mode. Take a look at the emulation. I know it's going to be great because I've played before, but again, we're on the Lattepanda. Take Ruby Heart, we'll take Ryu, and we will take Sakura. Okay. Do Turbo. And I'll just let it go so you can see load times and stuff like that. You can move before it says fight, and then come on. So you see the sound's pretty good. Oh, yeah. Here's a scene with a lot of action. No problems at all. Looks really good. Sakura there. I'm really happy with this emulator, and some people say there's lags and glitches and stuff, but I don't really see it on mine. Maybe it's because the Lattepanda is so powerful, but other than that, bring out the dogs here. And let's see if we can bring out Ryu. There we go. Really fantastic emulation. I don't really see a problem with it at all. Sound is pretty good. I will say this, I couldn't record on OBS on the Lattepanda and play this. I got too many audio glitches. Now, anybody who's used OBS knows that could be from some of my settings. I mean, OBS and recording, and it can be a nightmare sometimes. So you just got to be patient with it and see. So it could have been the recording, but I've run OBS and other emulators on the Lattepanda while while recording and playing, and it worked fine. But for some reason, I guess the Dreamcast takes a little too much CPU usage or something, and it would just glitch. So I hate how it floats and stuff like this. Gotta come down eventually. So I was never big on this game, so I'm not the greatest at it, but more so the first one. Anyhow, hey, that's the emulation right there, guys. If you have any questions or comments, put them in the comments section. I'll be sure to answer as soon as I can. And subscribe and check out my Twitch launch where I'll be giving away a couple things. So good chance to win. Thanks for watching, everyone.